All right. Welcome to the United Matters channel. Barcelona are in for Marcus Rashford and they're really very serious. They want to obviously get this deal done and dusted to see that everything goes into their way and not really spend any other time because they feel like it's a player they're missing into their fix. Eriksen is one of those players that he's now wanted by two clubs, and United has gone ahead to offer him to a certain club, and there is another one that has gone ahead to show interest in signing the player. Then we are also going to be looking at one thing known as the Facundo Pellistri, as he bid farewell to the people or the players at Manchester United. He has also gone ahead obviously getting a message that he has gone ahead obviously send to the man himself known as Bruno Fernandes via his Instagram. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's obviously start it off like never before. There is an app, it's known as Magic Play Extra, that will help you watch all the games fully. You'll watch all the games to the fullest, Premier League games, and your local TV stations are all included into that side. So let's start it off from the story coming in through from Barcelona. It's Gal, Gal is obviously coming in through from Barcelona and Spain. They're telling us that Hans Flick has suggested Marcus Rashford's name for the left wing position of Barcelona. Now, we all know to it that Hans Flick wanted Nico Williams to play off the left attacking side of the midfield of Barcelona. And it looks like Nico Williams, having gone ahead obviously play or be given the shirt number 10 at Atletico Bilbao, he's not interested in removing from Atletico Bilbao to go to the side of Barcelona, and that is really one of the things that Barcelona really hate, showing interest in the player, sounding it out loud, they need you, and you obviously turn that opportunity down. And now they're like, let's obviously go ahead and really get in Marcus Rashford. And obviously Rashford is very rated, by the way, that any big team will obviously want a player like Marcus Rashford, you understand? And we all know to it that on his day, he's one of the best left forwards in the world, but the biggest red flag in his career is inconsistency. That when he scored 30 goals in the season of 2023-2024 season, he never showed up. And this season, he hasn't gone ahead to show us that he's really going to look any better than how he was looking last season. So we are waiting for him and see how things are really going to be panning out at the club of Manchester United. And you never know, it might obviously happen as it did in his season of 2022-2023, as he started off his season on the third game. You understand? That third game, we played against Liverpool. You understand? He had not scored against Brighton. He never scored against Brentford. We lost both games. And this time round, and way back, in the third game we played against Liverpool at Old Trafford, he scored his first goal, and ever since then the rest was history. He started obviously scoring for fun, and this time round he has that game. It's going to be our third game. I think we're going to be playing it the 1st of September at Old Trafford, right? And this weekend we're going to be entertaining Brighton and Hove at their stadium, and we'll see how everything is really going to be panning out in there. So as it stands, Manchester United wants Marcus Rashford. Barcelona want Marcus Rashford. And one of the reasons why I believe that we can't obviously move on Marcus Rashford is because Barcelona cannot meet the realistic evaluation of Manchester United. Because you might be here and you might be like, Rashford cannot go, Man United cannot sell him. But I tell you, money beats Gonza, as the Englishman says. You remember Neymar? PSG came up with a package that was irresistible by Neymar and Barcelona. You get? Barcelona did everything to obviously to increase the asking price from the side of PSG. PSG met the realistic evaluation for the side of Barcelona, and they took the player and they gave the player the salary they want, But that could happen at PSG because PSG are really financially stable even still right about now. after them getting off Kylian Mbappe from their side. But for Barcelona, they are in tears. They are in tears. They are in tears because Nico Williams failed to come to Barcelona because he's not sure of the project. And he was like, let me play one more season at Atletico Bilbao and see how the team of Barcelona will be like, you know. And today, Barcelona have gone ahead to let Ilkay Gundogan live on a free, and he has been a player earning close to 200,000 euros a week, and they've gone ahead to let him go. And I don't know whether they can obviously manage the salary of Marcus Rashford, or to add a player that earns as huge as Marcus Rashford. And the transfer fees involved into that are really huge. They are really huge that I don't see it happening and really coming to pass. So this deal is really in the news. It's reported by a source in Spain, and Barcelona is really doing the needful. Is it a PR stunt? Is it a story being put up by the agents of Marcus Rashford to obviously show United that, oh, you might not be needing the player, but teams like Barcelona are really in need of the player, because there are already fans that are really complaining, especially after the game of the Community Shield and the game of Fulham. They believe that it was not supposed to be Amad Diallo to be taken off the field of play. It was supposed to be Marcus Rashford on both encounters. That's what people have gone ahead to say, that Garnacho deserves to be playing on the left, and Marcus Rashford looks like he's undroppable, and he hasn't gone ahead to do anything to show to us that he's really undroppable. That is what you're really getting in through from the man himself, known as the fans of Manchester United. So we are waiting to see how these people are really going to rectify all this, but I tell you, all is really going to be rectified soon. But before this story came into the public domain, there are stories that were all about Marcus Rashford that came up into the mix, and they were brought to us by Give Me Sport. And the first one read that Man United resisted any urge to put Marcus Rashford up for sale this summer, but another season of underperforming will certainly lead to his exit at the end of the season. Ineos chief Sir Jim Ratcliffe and David Bracefold believe Rashford is in the last chance saloon at United. So it is said United resisted any urge to put Marcus Rashford up for sale, and as Barcelona is coming in through to show intent to obviously buy the player, you understand, there might be an intent of Man United not selling Marcus Rashford. And I tell you the fact, however much I want Marcus Rashford to obviously leave the club of Manchester United, because I believe we have better players that can really do better stuff than him, and they're really more hungry than him, and they're willing to put in a shift, you know. Marcus Rashford has a very huge stance of staying at Manchester United, and the board also want to keep him at the club of Manchester United as they see him as the brand. But I really blame this board also, you know. If you're really having a player like Rasmus Højlund, 21 years of age, you're having a player like Zexi, 23 years of age, Kobe Mainoo, 19 years of age, Garnacho, 20 years of age, Amad Diallo, 22 years of age. Then you are having Dallo, 25. You're having Leny Yoro. Why do you need Rashford for? I think Rashford will hinder the development of Alejandro Garnacho. You get? And to my senses, I believe if Sancho is given some playing time on the left, he can obviously offer more than Marcus Rashford, because first and foremost, he is one of the unselfish wide forwards that we have at Manchester United. When he reaches into the area, shooting at goal is not the only option that crosses his head. But for Marcus Rashford, shooting at goal is always his own thought. You get? Very selfish player. So I believe the departure of Rashford can really spark off players like Jadon Sancho, I tell you. So, but I don't see the sale of Marcus Rashford really doing the need. But the most important bit of it all is there is a story claiming that is his last chance at Manchester United. And I tell you, if he doesn't perform this season, I think we move him on. Not so? if we don't move him on, if at all he least performs this season, then I'll be like, this board is really embracing what we call player power, the club of Manchester United, yet it doesn't need to be really given a chance to really thrive. Then, give me sport. Marcus Rashford wants his 3 Lions shirt back with a new manager coming in after Southgate. First best for Marcus Rashford is winning Ten Hag's trust and show once again he really can be a player United know he can be. But when I read that story, him winning Ten Hag's trust shows you that Ten Hag gives you a chance, and if you fail, he can take you off the bench. He can take you to the bench and really start another player. And I tell you, the most competitive positions of Manchester United this season are the right forward and the left forward positions, because on the right, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, and Garnacho. And Amad Diallo. On the left, Rashford, Sancho, and Garnacho. And just get to know that at a certain point X, Manchester United will obviously find themselves in a position of even trying out Mason Mount. Mason Mount onto the right or left, because Bruno Fernandes is undroppable. So, by so doing, you obviously find that it's really competitive. And this point of Erik ten Hag just giving him time, and if at all he does not perform, he's really going to drop him, has already been surfacing at Manchester United. He will also to it that when Ten Hag came in through, he gave Harry Maguire benefit of doubt into his team. And guess what happened? A time reached, and the guy who was really dropped. And which guy was dropped? The guy that was dropped, he was called... the guy that was dropped, he was called Harry Maguire, and Rafael Varane came in through. Then, for Anthony, we also Ten Hag favoring Anthony to that position, and it was like maybe he can become a better player. But we saw to it that towards the end of last season, Amad Diallo kicked in, and he went ahead to obviously override, ahead of this player. You all remember that very well. So I tell you that a lot has gone ahead to happen into Manchester United, and I know if this guy Rashford doesn't really perform very well, Erik ten Hag will put him on the bench and maybe field Garnacho, because Garnacho has shown us that every time he comes off the bench, he's really a better player than how we think he is. And we believe that Ahmad has to be playing more minutes, because he's really making things happen, and Marcus Rashford isn't. So that's exactly what you're really holding to see. And on Saturday, Manchester United will be playing its third game of the season, one in the Community Shield, and this is going to be the second in the Premier League. And we'll be looking at how Marcus Rashford will obviously thrive against Brighton. The moment he really downs tools, I tell you, no one is really going to entertain him the next game against Liverpool. I won't really include him into my team. And tomorrow I'm going to be putting up my predicted starting 11 for the club of Manchester United and match preview, who is out and who we expect to be back. And if Rashford doesn't really perform very well, then he's really going to find himself out of my lineup. And I know out of pressure, he will obviously be put off the team, because we are having a better player. And Ten Hag knows to it that I would rather start Garnacho to play 60 minutes and bring in Rashford to play 30 if at all. Rashford isn't really coping up, and showing him that you have to fight for this position, because you need to earn a right to be into that position than the player you're competing with. Now, let's leave Marcus Rashford to that, and I really call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Marcus Rashford to the club of Barcelona. You think it's possible or not? We have Laurie Whitwell. Christian Eriksen has been offered to Ajax. Manchester United are asking for at least £5 million. As things stand, there is no expectation of a move to Ajax. So, United had gone ahead to offer this player to Ajax, and in the due course of really offering him to that side, the player has found himself in a proper position of like, I will go anywhere, but Ajax is not in the mood to sign Eriksen. And guess what? As we're asking ourselves where this man is going to be playing next season, Anderlecht are being linked with Christian Eriksen. However, United have not confirmed that interest, and Eriksen looks set for a bid part role at best, for a bit part role at best at Old Trafford. Now, I think if Eriksen doesn't push to leave Manchester United, then he'll be like, no team can pay my salary. That is £150,000 a week. So let me choose to start Manchester United and get the money in. You know, and get the money in. After getting the money in, then I'll leave as a free agent. And for Manchester United, I think it will make more sense even if we get in like £5 million from the sale of this guy. And if you sell him for 5, that means you've gone ahead to create space of a saving of £150,000 a week. That is £600,000 a month and £7.2 million a year. You get, meaning that you would have gone ahead to get yourself £12 million into your pockets. So I think we should really be very ruthless when we are moving on players, because I believe we have close to 5 players that are supposed to be leaving Manchester United. Scott McTominay, Lindelof, Eriksen, Sancho, and then Hannibal. So we should really do the needful and move on these players. And in the due course of moving them on, we should really see to it that a lot really goes our way and we get in that money. Because for me, I'm not really willing to see Manchester United really spend huge amounts of money to these players. You know, the squad right now of Manchester United is having close to 32 players, you know, and the manager needs to trim it, and I don't know how he's going to trim it. And if he trims off those 5 players, I tell you, Manchester United will have the best of the best squad. You know, we'll be having like 26 players. I think those will act well for the club of Manchester United, and the manager will manage them better. I don't want us to find ourselves in a position that a side of Chelsea has found itself in, because Chelsea right now has found itself stuck with Chelsea is stuck with how many players? They're like 43 players into the squad of Chelsea. So it shows you that you can't operate at that level. So to avoid that, all we have to do is simple. We have to obviously come up with the right way possible and really sell all these players such that the summer of 2025 doesn't find us with a bloated squad. You understand? Then this is the man himself, known as Facundo Pellistri. He has said, "Dear Reds, my time has come to say goodbye. It's been an incredible journey, full of unforgettable moments and experiences that I'll cherish forever. Your unwavering support, both on and off the pitch, is something I remember forever. I've grown as a player, as a person, and that's because of you. As you say, once a Red, always a Red. Manchester will always hold a special place in my heart. Wishing the club and all of you nothing but the best for the future. With gratitude, Facu Pellistri." Remember, today he has finally joined the club of Panathinaikos, and he's really going to be a player for them for the next 5 years. And there is a buyback clause that Manchester United has gone ahead to include into their into his contract, or into his selling agreement, and they've also gone ahead to put in what we call a sell-on clause. So there is a buyback and a sell-on clause. So whatever happens for the club of Manchester United, if Facundo Pellistri becomes that player that we expect he should be, I tell you, United will have to bring him back. But that should happen before 2027. After 2027, nothing like buying him back will obviously happen. If you are to buy him, we should dance to the tunes set by a side known as Panathinaikos. Then he also went ahead, obviously, reply to Bruno Fernandes after wishing him a safe journey and a safe career in Greece. And this is what Facundo had to say. "The pleasure was mine to share and play with you. What a player, and the most important thing, what a guy. Thank you for always being behind me and behind every player in this club. You are the definition of captain." That is what Facundo went ahead to obviously tell Bruno Fernandes Borges. And Borges has really done his job at the club of Manchester United, and we all have to really give him what he deserves, because he has gone ahead to obviously prove to us that he's really good and players are really happy with him. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Barcelona in for Rashford. What do you make about it? Should we sell him or not? Then there is another player called Eriksen. Do you think we should keep him around or we should sell him? And lastly, what do you make of Facundo Pellistri's final message to the fans of Manchester United, and obviously naming or referring Bruno Fernandes, or dubbing him as the best captain ever because of his roles he plays at the club of Manchester United? We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. We thank Allah for the gift of lives. Good night, and see you in the next time. A live might be set up if at all Manuel Ugarte is a here we go tonight. Bye-bye.